Do you ever ponder the mysteries of the deep? The ocean is full of secrets, but today, we're diving into one that's as baffling as a goldfish winning a game of chess. Ever heard of the bloop? Now, this isn't the sound of a cartoon character falling into water or a bubble bursting. No, the bloop is a mysterious, powerful underwater sound that was detected by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, back in the 90s. It was picked up by not one, but multiple hydrophones spread over a whopping 3,000 miles. That's like being able to hear a whisper from one side of the United States to the other. So how loud was this bloop? Well, imagine standing next to a jet engine as it roars to life, or picture yourself at a rock concert right next to the speakers, with the bass pounding against your chest. Now amplify that, but imagine the source isn't a few feet away, but miles beneath the ocean surface. It's enough to make you drop your popcorn, isn't it? This underwater enigma has baffled scientists for years. Theories have ranged from giant sea creatures to secret military operations, and even the rumblings of a new underwater volcano. But the truth is, we still don't know what caused the bloop. It remains one of the ocean's most intriguing unsolved mysteries. But here's something to ponder. The loudest creatures in the ocean are blue whales, and their calls reach a maximum of 188 decibels. The bloop was estimated to be several times louder than that. That's like comparing a car horn to a freight train. So, imagine a sound louder than your neighbor's annoyingly early morning lawn mowing, but it's coming from the deep sea. Baffling, right? Now, the bloop has sparked more theories than a conspiracy theorist's annual convention. Let's dive into the ocean of possibilities, shall we? Some people, with their imaginative minds and flair for the dramatic, suggest that the bloop could be the call of a gigantic sea monster, lurking in the deep, undiscovered trenches of our oceans. We're talking about a creature so massive it makes the blue whale look like a goldfish. Imagine that, a creature that could probably use a full-grown great white as a toothpick. Others, inspired by movies like Godzilla or Pacific Rim, speculate that the bloop could be the sound of a slumbering leviathan, disturbed by a submarine perhaps, or maybe Godzilla just decided to take a quick dip. Now, if this theory is correct, I'd recommend we all start preparing for our new aquatic overlords. Then we have the UFO enthusiasts who believe the bloop to be the result of extraterrestrial activity. They suggest it could be a secret underwater alien base or even a spaceship that crashed into the ocean. I mean, who are we to say that aliens don't enjoy a good beach vacation? Maybe they just got a little too enthusiastic with their deep-sea diving. There's another group that suggests that the bloop is the result of covert military operations. Maybe it's a secret underwater base, or perhaps it's the sound of the world's most stealthy submarine. This theory is like believing that your cat is secretly an alien spy. It's possible, sure, but it's probably more likely that Mr. Whiskers just likes to knock things off your shelves for fun. And let's not forget the mermaid enthusiasts. Yes, you heard right, mermaids. There are people who believe that the bloop is evidence of a mermaid civilization deep beneath the waves. Maybe it's the sound of their underwater city, or perhaps it's the beat from an epic mermaid rave. Who knows? Maybe Ariel and her friends just know how to throw a great party. Oh, and we can't ignore the theory that the bloop is the sound of Cthulhu, the ancient cosmic entity created by writer H.P. Lovecraft, stirring in his slumber. Now, if you're not familiar with Cthulhu, let's just say that if this theory is correct, we should all be very, very worried. But wait, I hear you say, what about more mundane explanations? Well, those exist too. Some people think the bloop could be the sound of icebergs scraping against the ocean floor, or perhaps it's just a very loud fish. Yes, a fish. A fish that's really, really good at beatboxing. So, we've got theories ranging from Godzilla taking a swim to mermaids throwing an underwater rave. But what does science say? Scene script. Science, being the ultimate party pooper, has its own explanation, and it doesn't involve underwater extraterrestrial bases. Now brace yourself. The scientific theory of the bloop is akin to expecting a thrilling roller coaster ride and ending up on a merry-go-round. Yes, you heard it right. The mundane reality is that the bloop was most likely caused by an ice quake, essentially ice cracking and shifting in Antarctica. Earth-shattering, isn't it? Here's the crux of it. There's this thing called cryoseism, or an ice quake, if you want to stick to simpler terms. It's a seismic event that occurs when ice starts to crack and shift. Now, Antarctica, being the frosty giant that it is a hot spot for ice quakes. So, when a large chunk of its ice decided to take a dip in the Southern Ocean, it created a sound so powerful that it echoed across the Pacific. Think of it like this. You're sitting in a quiet room, minding your own business, when suddenly, you hear the sound of ice cracking in your glass of water. It's pretty loud, right? Now amplify that sound a few million times and you've got the bloop. So it's not an underwater sea monster with tentacles reaching out to grab submarines, but a massive iceberg trying to squeeze into the ocean. But wait, you might ask, how do we know it's not some colossal sea creature lurking in the depths? Well, the answer lies in the sound's frequency. The bloop, while loud, had an ultra-low frequency, typical of icequakes but not of marine life. In fact, the sound was so similar to known icequake sounds that scientists could almost pinpoint the iceberg that caused it. Almost like identifying a singer from their unique voice, except the singer is an iceberg and the song is a bone-rattling bloop. Now I get it, it's disappointing. It's like being promised a superhero movie and getting a documentary about knitting instead. But trust me, icequakes are not as dull as they sound. They're a crucial part of our planet's natural processes, helping to balance the ebb and flow of ice and water. In a way, they're Mother Nature's way of doing housekeeping, albeit with a lot of noise. I know it's a letdown. We all wanted the bloop to be a sign of alien life or an undiscovered sea monster, but alas, it turns out to be just another day in the life of Antarctica. So it seems the bloop might just be the ocean's version of cracking knuckles. Not as exciting as a kraken, but hey, nature doesn't always cooperate with our imaginations. But hang on, don't pack up your detective kit just yet, there's a twist in the tale. Just when you thought we'd put a neat little bow on this mystery, some are still poking holes in the icequake theory. Why? Well, it's all because of the bloop's unique sound pattern. Picture this, you're digging into a fruit salad expecting the usual mix of apples, oranges, and the occasional rogue grape. But lo and behold, you pull out a pineapple. That's right, a pineapple in an apple salad. That's how out of place the bloop's sound pattern is. Scientists have been scratching their heads, adjusting their glasses, and probably even dropping their beakers in surprise. Because the bloop, my friends, refuses to play by the rules. It's like that one cousin who shows up to Thanksgiving dinner in a Halloween costume. It stands out, it confuses people, but it sure does make things more interesting. The bloop's sound pattern, unlike the typical predictable patterns of icequakes, is just too peculiar. It's too loud, too unique, too bloopy. It's like finding a pineapple in your apple salad. It's not impossible, but it's definitely not what you'd expect. It's this uniqueness that has some questioning whether our icy friend is really to blame. Could the bloop be something else entirely? A monstrous sea creature? An underwater UFO? The world's largest bubble wrap being popped by a bored Poseidon? Who knows? There's a reason why mysteries are so irresistible. They challenge us, tease us, and keep us coming back for more. And the bloop, with its pineapple in an apple salad peculiarity, is no different. The scientific community may have settled on the icequake theory, but the jury is still out for many. Until we can explain why the bloop sounds more like a tropical surprise in a temperate fruit salad, the mystery endures. So the case of the bloop remains as open as a 24/7 diner. What do you think the bloop could be?